Love is in the air, Nick, and this time the love is all about those board games.
That's right. It's Valentine's Day. It's February, baby. Best BGG. What's up, everybody? My name is Nick.
I'm Mike.
We're the Brothers Murph, and that's right. It's Best of BGG in February 2023. We got it right. Let's go. This is the Best of BGG. We're talking about the hottest games of the month, some personal picks from us, a little bit of news. You know what? Let's get right in the news. A bit of news is we have an update from the Geek store. We have a whole bunch of new promos, including ones from the Game Boy Geek, and there are some cool new metal coins for Galaxy Trucker. There'll be new Geek Up bits. They're going to be out there, which look really, really cool. There's also some restocking stuff of Power Grid, and there's some teases for a new, very big Geek Up project with some tiles that you might recognize if you've played this game before. And I'm very, very curious about what this is going to be. Apparently, it is the biggest Geek Up set, Geek Up bits thing they've ever done. So I'm very, very intrigued with that. Make sure to check out the rest of the Geek Store update. And yeah.
So that's just a couple items of news to keep track of on BoardGameGeek. Let's get down to the table to go over the hottest games of the month, the most clicked games. Hit it!
All right, so we're gonna talk about the hottest games of the month, games that people have been talking about, games that people have been typing about, searching up stuff.
Clicking and clacking on the old keyboards.
Indeed. Let's get to number 10.
Number 10 is Dune Imperium. This game's always around.
Popping around, popping off,
It's
popping
up
on,
and
popping
down,
off,
and up
popping
and
off.
down and around. But this is a game that seems to have done the best at blending worker placement with deck building.
It sure seems like it. There's a lot of games that have done this, but this one is, I mean, they're all very popular, a lot of them, but this one seems to be kind of, the people tend to play this one the most.
That's what it seems like, and I think part of the thing that's great is like the world of Dune is something that's so rich. They've been able to come out with so much content,
so much spice,
so many expansions, so different factions to talk about, locations and cards, and so much stuff.
Yeah, people really like it. This has become kind of a modern classic for a lot of different people. I mean, again, it came out 2 years ago, and people are still playing the heck out of it. So much so that it's like every other month it's popping back on the list. So Dune Imperium is number 10. People love it, and it's sticking around. So let's get to number 9. I'm here for this one, Mikey.
Man,
I'm here.
The Search for Lost Species is a follow-up to the Search for Planet X,
which we love.
Oh, we love that and stuff. And the Search for Planet X, of course, you have like different areas of space and sectors you're checking out, and there's different rules like comets and how they have to function. There's all sorts of rules and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you can take all of that for space and put it into the natural world of animals,
and you're trying to find
traits and things.
Trying to find weird geckos or something.
That's all I want.
You're trying to find lost species, which is so cool because we're always finding new species. Oh, there's always some kind of frog we haven't seen yet.
So many frogs.
So many frogs. And so, yeah, I'm so curious. Like, we love Search for Planet X. So now you just put that in the natural world. I'm like, cool, that's even cooler. Like, love space stuff, but love kind of nature stuff even more.
Deduction games like that are really fun.
And they're so much fun. Like, Search for Planet X is so much fun solo. It's so much fun with people. It just works. So, like, this is the new game in that kind of mechanisms. I'm all here for this for Lost Species.
Absolutely. So that's number 9 on the hotness, just got announced. Can't wait to see more about this game and have more stuff get released. And in the meantime, let's get to number 8.
Number 8 is about playing music in Siberia.
Right.
Frostpunk.
How about drum stuff?
How many punk bands have trumpets in them?
So many do, like ska, punk, they're near each other.
It's not about that.
So many horns.
This is based on the video game Frostpunk, and it's kind of a big kind of campaign game that's pretty darn dark. Maybe the same people who made like
This War of Mine.
This War of Mine. So it's a pretty dark world, but it's got this big old furnace, this big cube tower in the middle.
Absolutely. It's kind of set, the game is set in a post-apocalyptic world where there's a new ice age is frozen over, and you're desperately trying to keep your colony of people
like different clans and
alive
stuff like
and
that,
thriving. So you're trying to balance kind of the happiness of people and making those tough decisions for the kind of greater good of the colony. And those cards and stuff are going to flip over and give you like really chunky decisions that you have to then make that are going to vastly affect the kind of future. So this is one that if you want that kind of big production, and it's based obviously a very popular video game, this is one that might be for you.
Yeah.
This one seems too bleak for me personally.
Yeah, it's a little
too dark. I need like anthropomorphized animals a little more often than that, but it seems like a cool production. So that's Frostpunk, the board game.
Indeed, let's get to number 7. Number 7 is Seven Wonders Edifice. This is
when it lines up.
I know, right? You love when it lines up. So this is a new expansion for Seven Wonders. There's always new expansion for Seven Wonders. People love that game.
Yes.
And this game is all about these kind of communal buildings where you can kind of work on them together. You can two people can work on a building. Team up, and then if you finish that building, you then get some kind of benefit, some kind of reward. Yeah. But not everyone has to jump in on helping out with this building. But if you don't jump in and help out with the building and it doesn't get finished, you're gonna get penalized. So it's one of those things where if buildings get started, it seems like you really need them to get finished or else you're gonna get penalized.
One way or another, whether or not you participate, but if you don't participate,
so it's Seven Wonders. People love it. We don't play Seven Wonders really. I haven't played many of the expansions, but I'm always fascinated because there's always more expansions. People love Seven Wonders. I'm always like, great. I'm glad there's more content for this game that people. I mean, it got so many people in the hobby. It's like so many people's favorite game, or it's great, you know?
It's been an important one for the hobby for sure, and this might be the next great chapter of Seven Wonders goodness.
Yeah.
That's Seven Wonders Edifice at number 7. Fittingly, let's get to number 6.
Number 6 is one of the most popular game in the last couple of years, and that is Ark Nova. Ark Nova is usually somewhere on the list because people are playing the heck out of it. It's number 4 overall on the BoardGameGeek Top 100. People love Ark Nova. This is a game where you're building out a zoo. You're getting these different animal cards will have different traits on them and tags, kind of like Terraforming Mars in that way. And then there is your action cards that you are choosing to play. And then the longer you wait to play them, the stronger they're going to get. So it's kind of like that delayed gratification kind of thing going on where you're like, ooh, I want to wait a little bit longer to get this stronger, and then boom, drop it so I can do all this kind of cool stuff. It's very fun. We really like the game a lot, and so do many other people.
Oh yeah, we're not alone in that. It's just zoo time goodness. Getting those animals played, all the sponsor cards. There's just so much fun, synergies to find and explore, and you are very good at this game. You just do so well, at least against me. I don't know. Maybe I'm so bad at the game, but it's just wow, look at him go.
Yeah, indeed. That's Ark Nova. It's number 6. It'll probably be here for a little while longer. But nonetheless, let's get number 5.
Number 5 is Zoo Vadis. This is a game all about
two
zoos in a row. I know, animals are in. All right, animals are in.
They are.
This is a reskin of a Reiner Knizia game called Quo Vadis, where now you are doing the same thing. It's a pure negotiation kind of game. And you're trying to move your animals now up to the kind of star enclosure in the zoo.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do that by accumulating votes and things and getting the majority of your animals into different enclosures so that you can then ascend to the next higher enclosures. You're working your way through the zoo. There's a few different actions you can do. You can basically place down animals at the bottom. You can move things up. But if I'm not in the majority of an enclosure and you're in that enclosure, I could broker a deal with you and say, hey, let me give you 2 of these points right over here. If I can secure your vote, if you go vote for me, you'll also get a point that way, Laurel. And let me swap out your animal for mine so I can move up real quick. You know, and it's all about working out these deals, trying to figure out what can I sacrifice to get up to the top, because if you don't make it to that top, that star enclosure, you do not get to score, period. You have to make it up there.
You got to get there.
So what am I willing to sacrifice to get that upward momentum?
Yeah,
you know,
just pure negotiation. It's got new art by Kwanchai Moria, which is it's one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. It's
super cool,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
But super cool. If you like pure pure negotiation games, this is definitely up your alley. We're not a huge negotiation game kind of people, but nonetheless, I'm pumped because people are gonna absolutely love this.
All the animals you have a special power, but you don't get to use it, but you can give it to someone else and they can use your power. So that's a little bargaining chip right there. It's really fun. A lot of fun stuff to explore.
That's Zoo Vadis number 5. Let's get number 4. This game's about punks playing music in Siberia,
That's right. Frosthaven.
That's right.
They're a rival punk band to the Frostpunks.
That's
you know what I mean? This is Frosthaven, the obviously highly anticipated follow-up to Gloomhaven that is now getting into people's hands. Delivered their Kickstarter. Good for them. This is one that was kind of a no-brainer. Gloomhaven's the number 1 ranked game of all time on BoardGameGeek.
Yep.
This seems to have taken everything from Gloomhaven, spruced up some of the mechanisms, beefed up the parts that were maybe a little bit weaker. It's from something that was already the strongest game, arguably, of all time. So, of course, it's doing quite well for itself.
Yeah, people really, really like it. It's
just a lot more to explore now.
People have been playing the butt out of it just because they got it and it's on people's tables, and I'm guaranteeing it's not leaving for a while. It's just sitting there, and they're playing it every evening and stuff. Yeah, Frosthaven people love.
Yeah.
People like Gloomhaven too, and so it's super, super cool. Glad to see it doing well. And I'm so curious of if there's going to be another one, what the next thing in the Gloomhaven Frosthaven universe is, because you got to imagine it's not stopping. So we're going to see. But Frosthaven, people are super, super excited, super pumped. It's number 4, It'll probably be here for a little while.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get number 3.
Nick,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta take the pedal, put it to the metal, and create that heat. Pedal to the metal. It's number 3, all about Formula 1 racing.
Yep.
It's a racing game. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's a cool Formula 1 racing game where you are driving your car around this track, trying to, of course, come in first. But it's got this cool kind of heat mechanism where you're whatever gear you're in. If you're 4th gear, you have to play that many cards. That's your movement cards. Yeah. Your cards will be like 0 to I think 4 or 5 movement on each card. And so if you're in a big straightaway, you want to play a whole bunch and really zoom forward.
And burn.
But the problem is, of course, then you're gonna come around a turn, and the turns will have a certain amount of speed that you can go around them at. Could be something like, if it's a slight turn, it might be like 6 or 7. If it's a real hairpin turn, it might be like 2. Yeah. So the thing is, if you're in 4th gear, you have to play 4 cards. So you can do that maybe if you have like a bunch of 0s and a bunch of 1s, but you probably can't. You probably want to shift down, because when you're going around a turn, any excess over the speed limit you have to pay in heat. You're grabbing heat from your engine, putting it out. Yeah. And if you can't pay the heat, you then will spin out. And spinning out is really detrimental in this game.
It's not good.
It's a really, really fun game, and it's a really interesting kind of way to manage your heat, because heat isn't bad. You need it, and you need to use it. But
it's
it also
a resource to be
kind
used,
of clogs up your hand in a weird way. It's a very interesting way
you want
to
to get
kind
it out of your hand and into your engine where it's useful and stuff. But managing kind of how hot you're running that engine and how much of that heat you're using is everything, comes down to that control. Yeah. It's really fun. There's a ton in this box, like weather effects and AI bots and kind
of a campaign thing. Yeah, a lot going on.
Tons of maps and everything. I really can't wait to get it so we can explore everything that's in that box. But that is Heat, Pedal to the Metal, number 3 from Days of Wonder, kind of back to form.
Indeed. Let's get number 2. Hey, we're in Hollywood.
Hey, 1947 in Hollywood, we're making the pictures with the talkies now.
But the dang commies are here.
The communists have showed up to shut the studio down.
This is Hollywood 1947's number 2. It's on a Kickstarter right now. It's by Facade Games, who make like Tortuga and Salem. All these games are in like
little books.
Very cool. But this is a game where you are a filmmaker in 1947 in Hollywood. Yep. And there are commies there and communists, and you're trying to essentially find all the communists there. And so everyone,
you're assigned kind of a role, either a communist, a patriot, or a rising
star. And you're gonna have a job like a gaffer or something like that.
Working a job, sweeping up.
You're sweeping some stuff. Getting people ham sandwiches. I don't know. Or whatever. But nonetheless, there's communists in the mix. You're trying to find them, because if you don't get the communists out, your studio's gonna get shut down. Because that's what it was, the big kind of red scare in Hollywood. It's all kind of, it's interesting. It's all based on like real events, more or less, and so it's kind of an interesting theme for like a Hollywood kind of game.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting chapter in our history and stuff. And there's definitely some not great parts and things that came out of people being accused of being communists because people didn't like those people, and So, but it does make, I think, for a rich world, similar like they did for Salem,
like
a rich world for a
like
board game and deduction and figuring out who's who and stuff like that. So, curious about this one and a long line of kind of these games where we're trying to suss out who's actually what. And so, it should fit right in for them.
Yes, that's number 2. Hollywood 1947. Let's get number 1. Talking about back in the day, Mikey.
Yep.
We know we're just irrelevant now. Horses. We have cars.
We have horseless carriages. What does that mean? It's an automobile. What is that? And you're like, is that powered by witches? Sort of.
Kinda.
This is a horseless carriage from Splotter Games, all about the earliest days of the vehicle of cars and trying to figure out kind of like what design to go with that's going to appeal to the people. Because in the early days of cars, they had all sorts of crazy stuff, levers and stuff that help you turn. There was wheels and things that would help you go up faster and slower. And now cars are so kind of standardized,
self-driving more.
And so back in the day, they decided like, what are people actually gonna like? And this game is all about figuring that kind of stuff out.
Yeah. It's a Splotter game, so it's real big, heavy.
Oh yeah.
All about the mechanics, and a lot of people in BoardGameGeek like love Splotter games. And so whenever a new Splotter game comes out, which is not very often, to be fair,
it always makes the kind of.
It's always a big splash. So yes, this is a new one. People are getting it, playing it. A lot of people seem to really, really like it. It is very pretty, which is the best part about most Splotter games.
We are not fans of the looks of Splotter games. I think that they are not great looking.
They don't look great. A little bit of art, a little bit of graphic design would be great, but
any would be great.
Any would be great. But nonetheless, people are super into horseless carriage. People love like food chain magnet and stuff like that.
Also,
Rosa boats and stuff. And so So yeah, new spotter game. People are super, super hot on it. And yeah, and apparently people are digging it, but mechanically it's going to be pretty top notch.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's always going to be mechanically robust.
Indeed.
So
those are the top hottest games of the month. Games people want to talk about. Let's talk about the games people have been actually playing.
I see what you're saying.
And so we're going to go over the top 10 most played games of the month. These are people who have logged their games. So number 10 is going to be Seven Wonders Duel, which has 4,880 logged plays.
Absolutely. We got Terraforming Mars next at 5,361 plays.
Heat, Pedal to the Metal. People will get this game and play.
Telling
It
you
has
what.
5,390 plays.
Dang, we got the Crew Mission Deep Sea still behind on 5,615 plays.
Still surprised me. Now the next one up is the Crew Quest for Planet 9 with 5,861, still slightly above Mission Deep
I
Sea.
just don't know how. Arc Nova is next on 7,329, so a big jump there.
Yeah, we have Marvel Champions, which is always here with 7,545 plays.
We got Cascadia, very playable game, 7,716 plays.
Azul, very playable game with 8,168, and then a big jump for number 1.
Absolutely. Its wingspan has been kind of really ahead of the pack recently. It's at 10,739 log
Which is
plays.
2,000 more than number 2, which is a
Wingspan,
really big
I think with
difference.
the nesting box Wingspan Asia and the holidays coming and going, and maybe a lot of people getting the game for the first time, the last couple months with Wingspan have been in another stratosphere.
It really feels like it. Yeah, people play their butt out of Wingspan.
Hey, why not?
But nonetheless, that is the hottest games of the month, the top 10 most played games of the month. Let's stand back up and go over some Murph picks.
All right. So my Murph pick is a BGG post by John Shepard called Big Boxes, Where Good Games Go to Die. And it's kind of a reflection on the idea of these big boxes, these big collector edition, ultimate edition boxes, super boxes that can house everything for a game that's been very well supported with expansions and deluxe content or whatever it might be. And how for them, it kind of means that once you put it in that big box, you're not really gonna play it anymore. And this is something that I've kind of thought about in the past and have wondered about. We followed the Kickstarter for the Suburbia Collector's Edition box. This big old cube with a bunch of Suburbia goodness in it. And I love Suburbia, and that box is super well organized, as many of these boxes are. They're super well organized, great inserts, all these layers of stuff, and you kind of need a map to assemble it all. And that for me is where it kind of becomes a problem. It's like, it's almost too much of a good thing. It is well organized, yes. It has all the content together in one spot, yes, but now it's this huge box that's hard to move around, and it's kind of intimidating to get into the box and figure out the parts of the stuff that you need. And what John was saying was that like, it kind of just means the box just sits there and never gets played again. And I kind of agree. For me, and this is just for me, my taste, sometimes if things go in a big box, it automatically falls into a category of will not play more than once a year for sure. It's just too much work to get it out, put all the fun, deluxeified, wonderful things that are objectively awesome. But I'm like, it's just so much to navigate. It's so hard that it's the best possible thing and yet the kind of worst possible thing for making it a playable game. So seeing that post just really hit home for me. I'm like, you know what? I feel that in my bones. I love the idea of a big box, and I'm also just really hesitant to get any of them. Right above me here is the Anachrony Infinity box, and it's like this specter that looms over you ever more. So that's my thoughts on big boxes, but that's just me, and apparently John.
My Murph pick is from someone named Tom, and they have played 168 games of Spirit Island within about a year, which is actually incredible. They really wanted to play all 6 adversary levels in Spirit Island with every single spirit in true solo mode. So that means like 1 spirit, 1 adversary, 1 board. Like on a solo, not playing two-handed solo or anything like that, just straight up solos, 168 games. And in this post, in this session report, they kind of talk about different tips and tricks, how it all went, how to kind of go about a challenge like this. I thought it was so cool. Back in the day, we talked about a Spirit Island game that someone played where they played all the spirits all at one time, and it was bonkers. Spirit Island just seems to be one of those games that people love so much. They love doing these kinds of challenges. This one by Tom here, I thought was really cool. And Spirit Island solo is actually not too long of a game, so it makes sense why this big heavy game was able to be played this many times. But 168 plays in a year, all the adversaries, all the spirits, how'd it go? It's really cool. Check out the session report, it's fascinating. All right, so those are a couple different Murph picks. At the very end of the video, we always talk about our personal favorite game in the month, favorite thing we played. Mike, what was your favorite game of the month?
Okay, my favorite is one that I always forget how much I love it until we play it. This is Five Tribes.
I knew you were gonna say this one, yeah.
Bruno Catala. It uses Mancala in such an interesting, fun way where you pick up these meeples, you gotta drag them around to different spots and stuff, but like the amount of choices that come in with like the different colors of meeples matter, those spots that they land on, you get to make that action of that space. There's so many.
Much,
It's just, it comes together so beautifully. It's colorful and vibrant. I don't know. I love it so much.
It really is. It's astonishing.
Never gets played enough.
Every time we play it, we're always like, oh, that's right. This is like one of the greatest games.
This is an all-time game.
Yeah, it really is. My favorite game was Twat and Suyu. I really love Twat and Suyu. It's my favorite of the big T games.
Yeah.
And we actually got to play with the new expansion, which was called, what is it?
The Golden,
something.
The Age of Gold.
Age of Gold, something like that. I can't quite remember the name, but Gold something.
Golden Era.
The Golden Era, I think that's actually what it was. But Twat and Suyu with the new expansion, which Twat and Suyu is so much fun. It's kind of an overwhelming game because it looks like there's so many different options.
And there are.
And then the expansion adds just a couple more different things, a couple more kind of buildings you can get. And it was really fun. And we were both playing and like, God, this game is so good. And the expansion also is really good. So my favorite game of the month is Twat and Suyu. Down in the comments below, let us know what was your favorite game of the month? What was the favorite thing that you played in the month of the last 30 days or so?
Hit us with that in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the Best of Board Game Geek. Make sure you check out our stuff on Board Game Geek. There's so much to explore. There's never an end to it, and that's the best part about it.
That's right.
We will see y'all next month with more of Board Game Geek goodness. Until then, I am Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Murph, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Bye.